happy to be here tonight, but due to special circumstances, I'm actually not happy to be here tonight. I'm missing Game 7 for this, okay? So in order to make this worth my while, I want a lot of people signing up for solar. Okay, so Landers Sunshine is the name of our microfit project, and I'm going to tell you about our experience with that so far. And there's a reason for this so far. First of all, though, why go solar? Darren talked at the top about various reasons playing into that. For us, we were already doing, reduce, reuse, recycle, composting. We did have our home evaluated by the REAP project, and we did some of those kinds of upgrades, and we just kind of felt that we were ready for the next step. And then this microfit thing happened, and the incentives behind that just sort of make it economically almost a no-brainer. We got in at the very beginning with the MISE project last year. I guess you could call us early adopters. Our system is about 3.4 kilowatts of generating capacity, and the panels are a German manufacturer with a really high reliability and quality and long guarantee and all that good stuff. The inverter is made by Xantrex, which is a Canadian company. A little bit about the financing and economics side of things. The cost of our system was about $32,000, give or take. We did our financing through the Citizens Bank last summer. We financed the entire thing. No money down, no payments. Well, some payments. For a system of this size, 3.4 kilowatts, the expectation is that it should be able to produce about 4,000 kilowatt hours of electricity a year in this part of the country. I went back through our electrical bills over the last couple of years, and we seem to be using in our house about 4,800 kilowatt hours. So our solar system should be able to produce about 85% of what we consume. So that seems pretty cool. And I can sort of touch on another self-serving, not so altruistic reason for going solar. We live in a bungalow. It gets really hot in there in the summer. And my wife is going, I can crank the air conditioning up guilt free. The solar thing on the roof is putting the juice into the air conditioning. So that's kind of nice too. On the income side of things, thanks to microfit, with this kind of generation, we anticipate an income stream of about $3,000 a year roughly. So you can see that in our situation, it's going to basically cash flow itself. We should be actually making a little bit more money than it's costing us in our loan payments, at least until that loan comes up for renewal. So that works great. And then by the time the loan is paid off in 10 or 12 years or whatever, from then on until the end of the 20-year microfit contract, it's just straight income. So that's why I say, on the economics of it, it's practically at the point where it's almost a no-brainer. Not that the economics are the only good reason to do this, but this microfit program is just such a great incentive. So the process, I'll kind of just skip through really quickly. Our visitor from Waterloo North Hydro outlined that for you already. You get your place checked out by your prospective vendor. They'll come and do an assessment. They'll look at your roof situation and shading and trees and how much surface area you have, what the hassle factor is going to be in doing the wiring, all that kind of stuff. And they give you an idea of how well suited your home might be for this. You do the application, register with OPA, get your initial tentative contract offer, set up your financing, get the stuff installed, safety inspection, which triggers your connection request. You snap in your meter, you finalize your contract, and away you go. If only it were that quick. This is a shot of our garage roof at the back of the house. This was taken November-ish last year, and the crew is just here to start the installation. So first they do a bunch of measuring and alignment to figure out where the brackets are going to attach to the roof. This is a close-up of one of the little brackets. It's got a lag bolt that goes through into the joist of your roof, and they seal up the penetration with some silicone caulking or whatever, so prevent leaks and that type of thing. Here's where you can see rows of bracketry that's installed across the roof. It's fairly important to assess the condition of your roof before you put stuff on it. So you want to check out what condition your shingles are in. If they're at all suspect, you should probably, include reshingling your roof before you put the panels on, so you don't have to take them all off a year from now to replace your shingles. So that's another additional cost that you may have to keep in mind to build into your overall plans. There's a box of the rails, which in our case were made in Ontario. Part of this whole process with microfit, to be eligible, a certain percentage of your overall package has to be made in Ontario. There's a minimum made in Ontario percentage requirement. So as early adopters, one of the things that held us up was the negotiations were underway last summer about, well, what exactly qualifies to be eligible for made in Ontario. So we had to wait for that to get settled. And then we had to wait for our vendor to find a manufacturer to make some of the components. So they lined up a manufacturer, a metal shop in Ontario to manufacture these things here to qualify for the Ontario content. So those are some of the other things that play into the timelines here. And I think next year sometime, is it, the minimum Ontario percentage goes up. So that's something else you certainly have to be aware of, those kinds of regulations around the process. Here we are with all the rails installed across the roof. And a bunch of the solar panels stacked up waiting to be installed. So they sort of clip onto those rails, and then each panel has a little short wiring harness, and each one plugs into the next one, and you end up with a big daisy chain for the electricity to flow through all the panels. And this is where the meter would go if we were connected. This gets into the series versus parallel connection thing that was mentioned a few moments ago. We're wired in series, so we're not allowed to connect it. So our system is generating electricity, but it's not flowing up into the grid. We're not being paid by OPA for it yet, but it is producing electricity. I'll let you read the caption on that. Another good reason why you should do this kind of thing, those warm, fuzzy things. A few helpful hints. You have to be patient. This is a really new thing. It's happening at a fast pace in terms of the speed with which we're trying to get all this up and running. But it is a new program. There are delays while different issues get sorted out. So you have to be patient. It's the kind of thing where you think you can pick up the phone and call your vendor, and a week from now it's all on your roof and you're connected and generating. It doesn't happen that fast. So you have to be patient. Our insurance company has never had anybody with a solar thing on the roof yet, so they didn't know what to do about it. Talk to your tax advisor if you need to report the income, but then you can write off some expenses. So there's certainly tax implications around this that you want to find out about. One more thing before my last slide. Now is probably, in my opinion anyway, is maybe a really sweet time to get in. Who knows when the province is going to say, we have enough people signed up, we can't afford any more of this 80 cents a kilowatt hour, we're finished, we're full. The next thing I'm going to show you is kind of the payoff. It's maybe not the most important factor, but it is really cool. Can you see what's happening there? The meter's turning backwards. It's really cool when you flip on your solar thing and your meter that's going like this goes backwards. So, economics, the money side of it isn't necessarily the most important thing. There's all kinds of great reasons to do solar, renewable energy, but it is pretty cool to watch your meter go backwards. So I'll be around later for questions. And 2-0 Montreal! Whoa!